It's one of those weeks. The God Talk was planned and recorded early in the week because I was to have a minor medical procedure and I didn't know if I'd feel comfortable filming afterwards. But then the procedure was rescheduled and Renee Nicole Good was murdered. Welcome to Calm in the Chaos, where this week we are struggling to make any sense of human behavior while attempting to maintain an inner sense of peace and wholeness. I warn you to brace yourself because this God talk is mostly questions, no answers. Questions that we as a collective community need to ask, and questions that each of us needs to ask of ourselves. Who among us has no visceral response to this woman's death? A woman who represents me and perhaps represents you. The white, privileged, ordinary person who shops at Wegmans, who takes her kids to dance class and buys the milkshakes after getting their braces tightened. Now, I watched in the past years as my black friends had the talk, especially with their sons, about being stopped by law enforcement. Don't argue. Do what they say. Keep your hands where they can see them and no fast movement. And still, they are murdered. But now a white middle class woman was in the same situation. And yes, I'm making it about race and gender because it's critical that we all see she's probably the last person some of us would expect to be on the front page of every newspaper in the nation. We are all now called to be a collective of vigilant people who stand up and say no. Maybe this is what it took to join hands across race and gender and finally say, I see you, I get you, or at least I sort of get you. Have you paused to pray for her wife, for her three children, for their friends, for their community? Have you expressed gratitude for the mayor who, in very certain terms, told the immigration officers to get out of his city? Have you hoped that your mayor would be as strong? Have you prayed for the people who staged and are staging protests that they will be safe and that their presence will make a difference? Now we must follow up our prayers with action. Turn over the tables in the temple, show up, stand up, and speak up. But first, let's be very sure of our own values and systems of training that inform how we are in the world. As you listen today to me, or as you listened to the various points of view on the news, I ask you to consider your own response to all of it. Not only your response when you are chatting with a friend whose point of view is well known and in alignment with yours, but what's your response when you're alone, sitting in solitude, just you and the story? Because that response, your inside soul response, reveals who you are. Did your body twitch when you learned that Renee was married to a woman? Did your eyebrow rise when you learned she was 37 years old? What did you feel when you learned her wife witnessed the murder? Did you feel different now than when you learned of the many black neighbors who were murdered by officers in 2020 when it was brought to the forefront of our news? Is all human life sacred to you? Or are some more so than others? What is your bias, your prejudice? Because of how we were raised and what has happened around us as adults, we all have biases and prejudices. But we are never too old to learn new ways of being in this world. Now, when you evaluate your response, do you find it reflects who you want to be in this world? Or are you stuck in a fear response, a response that you've learned from someone else, or maybe just numbness? I read a comment from a woman, a comment on this story of Renee's murder from a woman who began with her condolences to Renee's family and then went on to preach that Renee should have listened to the officers and done what they said. She followed her judgmental lesson with a restatement of her condolences. Without meeting her, I and you know a little bit about her. She still thinks that we can control the outcome by being compliant. We can't. We have no idea of the background, of the mental capabilities and emotional status of the agent with the gun. She still thinks that we can be consoled by a hastily written line about condolences, reiterated after a judgmental comment. We are not consoled. But therein lies the lesson for us. Is all human life sacred, no matter what? Or do I need to have others fit into a prescribed definition of goodness for me to consider them sacred and worthy of my love? Because even the woman who wrote the comment deserves my respect. And so I ask each of us to do a little soul examination. Has my heart hardened because of the world's chaos? Or am I still able to maintain a core of peace within, no matter what happens around me? I'm reminded of the lead character in the movie Life is Beautiful. He is Guido, a Jewish Italian bookseller in the 1940s when he and his son are torn from his wife and sent to a concentration camp. To shield him from terror, Guido teaches his son that all their experiences in the camp are part of a game. The movie ends with the son's survival, all because he trusted his father and he believed in the game. Now, we all know full well what is happening in our country right now. It's not a game. There is terror, rightly founded in the events of each day. And in the midst of the terror, we need to find the kind of approach to each day that protects us, the kind of guiding light that Guido provided for his son. Some will name that guiding light hope. Some will look to God for peace within. Some will write poetry, make music, or scream at the heavens. Some will march. Have you seen the stories of the Buddhist monks who are walking from Fort Worth, Texas to Washington, D.C. to call attention to compassion and unity? They began their journey in late October and they expect to arrive in D.C. sometime in February. They have a dog walking with them and a vehicle with supplies, and they are attracting a lot of attention amidst the horror of the news. We all need to find what works for us to keep our souls of peace. Write down your thoughts. Learn to doodle artistically. Spend some time coloring, knitting, building something in your shop. Take lessons in something brand new to you. Awake and feed your soul's goodness. The core of who you are is your soul's goodness. Make a course correction if you need to, and continue to show up, stand up, and speak up. Let's end with a prayer. Dear God, whoever and wherever you are, we need guidance. Today we come to you with despair and pleas for your mercy in so many places. We pray that we, the people of the United States, will not be known as continuing colonizers, taking over other people's homes and resources. We pray for the people of Venezuela, We pray for Greenland. We pray that we, the people, will understand that we must work together to keep us all healthy. We pray for a vaccine schedule to be reinstated. We pray that memories of historically inhumane acts are taken seriously as lessons for our future. And we pray that each one of us holds on tightly to our own sense of what is good and right. Help us to continue to recognize that despite horrific human behaviors towards one another, there continues to be a joy when we come together for a hug, or a dinner together, or a song fest, or a beer and a game. Help us to remember to share smiles with one another and to hold one another up through the storm. Help us to somehow cease complaining about the lightning, but rather start dancing in the rain. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May it be so.